Hi guys, welcome. If you're new to my channel, my name is Carmen. Welcome. So in this video, we're going to be talking about how to use numerology to help to find out if somebody that you know is a narcissist. Because there's a lot of information that we can tell about somebody just by looking at the numbers in their numerological birth chart. And being a possible narcissist is one of them. Now, I want to say beforehand that when it comes to diagnosing people with mental illnesses, I am not trying to do that on this channel, and I'm not doing that in this video, just to let you know beforehand. But you can kind of get an idea if somebody might be a narcissist based on some of the symptoms and behavior characteristics that they tend to have. So you can check the DSM for that. The DSM is a great psychological guide that gives you kind of a list of behaviors to look for if you believe somebody is a narcissist. So some of these behaviors are, ideas of grandiose, like they think that they're kind of like better than everybody else. They have a sense of entitlement. They put themselves before other people. Lack of empathy for other people's feelings. Also manipulation. They'll use manipulation tactics to try to get people to do things that they want. So let's say you know somebody and you think that they might be a narcissist and they have all of the symptoms and behaviors that are common with the disorder, but you're looking for validation to confirm this. Then this will help you to do that, because I'm going to show you how to look at somebody's numerological birth chart to kind of help you to confirm if they are a narcissist. So this is just to confirm what you already might suspect about this person. So you need to know what the person's core numerological birth chart is first. So there's 4 core numbers in somebody's numerological birth chart, and you need to know what that is first before we do this. So if you don't know what that is, you can check out a video that I did on how to easily calculate these numbers. I'll put a link to that below. I will also put some links below to some apps that you can use, that you can download, that will easily calculate this information for you. And then after you do that, now I'm going to show you the key numbers to look for to identify if they might be a narcissist. Let's get into it. And if you are excited to watch this video and like what you hear, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And if you don't like it, that's okay. I still love you anyways. You guys that don't like it are helping the channel out too, because YouTube counts both likes and dislikes as viewer engagement. And the more engagement you have, the more your videos get promoted by YouTube. So you guys are helping me out also. So these are the narcissistic numbers. And I want to say beforehand that just because you have one of these numbers or some of these numbers in your chart does not mean that you are a narcissist. So please don't get triggered by this if you happen to see these numbers and some of these numbers are in your chart. You also have to have the signs and the symptoms of a narcissist in addition to these numbers to be a narcissist. So I'm going to show you what these numbers are right now. And after that, I'm going to show you the charts of some famous narcissists throughout history to give you an example of what to look for. And you are definitely going to want to watch that part because it is pretty shocking. When I was looking at the charts of these famous narcissists, I got goosebumps all up and down my arms. It was really scary to see their charts. So you are definitely going to want to see that part. So the first number in numerology that sometimes has narcissistic tendencies is number 1. And the reason why ones sometimes tend to be narcissists is because they want to be number 1, right? Doesn't that make sense? So 1 in numerology is the number of the self. It's the number of the individual. It's the number of independence and leadership. But on the negative side of this number, you have a person who is very self-centered and only thinking about themselves and their needs and putting themselves ahead of everybody. And you have a person who has a huge ego. The ego has become so big that it's gone to their head. And a person that can be very arrogant and very egotistical. So that would be the negative side of this number. And so a person on the negative side of number 1 could definitely be a narcissist. 5 can be a narcissistic number sometimes if it is on the negative side of this number, because its need for exploration and transition and change and freedom can become so strong sometimes that it overtakes their life and it overpowers them. And so they're in a constant state of needing mental stimulation and transition and change. And so at that point, what ends up happening is they become reckless. They can become reckless with their own bodies, with themselves. They can be reckless and destructive with their relationships and other people. 5s are very charming. They can be very charismatic. And if they're on the negative side of this number, they can use that charm and that charisma to manipulate people to do what they want, which is a classic sign of a narcissist. 8 can also be a narcissistic number in numerology if it is on the negative side of this number, because 8 in numerology, it represents power, it represents success, and it represents status. So on the negative side of this number, you have people who basically the power has gone to their head. They've been given power and it's gone to their head. And so it's not uncommon for a negative 8 who's been given a lot of power to do very evil, corrupt, and selfish things with that power. The need for status, the need for wealth, turns them into people that become very greedy and selfish and self-centered in many ways. Not saying that all 8s are like that. This is just for people that fall on the negative side of the number 8. So on the negative side, you have a power-hungry person who only cares about status and how they appear to the world, which are the classic signs of a narcissist. Now, some of you, especially the people that watch my videos a lot, you might be shocked to see that 9 can be a narcissistic number too sometimes, and so I'm going to explain why that is. So 9 in numerology is the very last number in numerology, and whereas 1 is the first number and it represents the individual, 9 is the last number, so it represents everybody and all of humanity. And so 9 is all about affecting humanity in some sort of way. And that can be in a good way, but it can also be in a bad way too. And on the positive side of this number, you have the person who is the hero, the selfless person that gives to charity and wants to help people and provide service to people in some sort of way. So they're affecting humanity in a good way. On the negative side of this number, you have a person who wants to affect humanity in a bad way. So what is the opposite of a hero? The opposite of a hero is a villain. So on the positive side of the 9, you have the hero, the superhero. And then on the negative side, you have the villain. So the complete opposite. So this is a person who also affects humanity, but does so in negative, evil ways that hurt people. And so for that reason, on the negative side of this number, it can be a narcissistic number. Now, master number 11 can also sometimes be a narcissistic number. And that's because it's got the 2 1s in the number 11. So it's got the double energy of the number 1. And remember what I said about number 1. On the negative side of number 1, you have a person that is very self-centered and only concerned about their own needs. And 11 has 2 1s in it. So 11s do sometimes have huge egos because of this. But 11 also has the energy of the number 2. Because if you add the 2 1s together, you get a 2. And so a lot of times 11s also have that 2 quality. 2 is all about cooperation and partnership. So that 2 energy softens them and takes the edge off of some of this 1 energy. So sometimes you will see master number 11s that are narcissistic, but because they have that 2 energy going on, that also softens them and helps them out in this way as well. So now I'm going to show you where to look for these numbers in someone's chart. Usually a narcissistic person will have multiple of these numbers. So they're not just going to have 1 number. They're going to have a lot of these numbers. And you will see that when I show you some of these famous narcissists throughout history, such as Hitler and Scott Peterson. These are people that have multiple of these numbers in their charts. And from what I've seen, typically these narcissists will have one of these numbers as their life path number. And that's because your life path number is the most important number in your chart. It's the main reason you were born, and it's who you are at your core. So they will typically have one of these numbers as their life path number, in addition to it being somewhere else in their core chart. So, like their soul's urge number, or their expression number, or their birthday number. So now I'm going to show you the charts of some famous narcissists throughout history. And the first one that we have here is Hitler. And as you can see, Hitler's life path number was a number 5. And like I said, on the negative side of number 5, you have chaos and destruction. And that is what he caused, chaos and destruction. And he's also got a master number 11 as his expression number. So as you can see, he's got more than one of these numbers in his chart. Now, Mao Zedong, if you don't know who he is, he's basically like the Hitler of China. So he kind of did what Hitler did, but in China. And he's also a life path number 5. And he caused a lot of chaos and destruction in that country. I wasn't able to calculate his full chart because I wasn't able to find his full birth name in English. But just seeing his chart with just 2 numbers, you can see that he's got another one of these numbers in his chart. He's got an 8 as a birthday number. So like Hitler, he has more than one of these numbers in his chart. And here we have the charts of Ted Bundy and O.J. Simpson. So Ted Bundy was a serial killer, and O.J. Simpson, we all know what he's been accused of. Even if you don't believe that he murdered those people, most people will agree that he is a narcissist, being that he wrote a book called If I Did Do It. So just writing that book alone would definitely qualify him as being a narcissist. So Ted Bundy, his life path number is a number 1. And on the positive side of the 1, you have the leader. On the negative side of the 1, you have a dictator. And he's got a lot of these numbers in his chart because he's got a 9 as his expression number, and he's got a 9 as his soul's urge number. And O.J. Simpson's life path number is also a number 1, and he also has another one of these numbers in his chart. His birthday number is a number 9. So here we have the birth charts of Scott Peterson and Osama bin Laden. So Scott Peterson was someone who was found guilty of murdering his pregnant wife, and he is currently sitting on death row. And we all know what Osama bin Laden did. So Scott Peterson's life path number is a number 8. The negative side of the 8 is the power-hungry person who cares only about status, right? And as you can see, he's got more than one of these narcissistic numbers in his chart. His soul's urge number is a number 5, which on the negative side is chaos and destruction. Osama bin Laden's life path number is also a number 8, and he's got 3 of these narcissistic numbers in his chart. His expression number is a number 9, and his birthday number is a number 1. Here we have the charts of Jim Jones and Joseph Stalin. Jim Jones was somebody who murdered hundreds of people in the 1970s. His life path number, like Hitler and Mao Zedong, is also a number 5. And he's got multiple narcissistic numbers in his chart. He's got a 1 as an expression number and a 5 as a soul's urge number. Joseph Stalin was the Hitler of Russia. He also murdered millions of people in his country. His life path number is a number 9. So remember, on the positive side of number 9, you have the hero, but on the opposite negative side of the number, you have the villain. And both of these characters affect humanity in some sort of way. And he definitely affected humanity in a very negative way. And he's also got another 9 in his chart. His birthday number is also a number 9. And last but not least, we have the charts of Madonna and Paris Hilton, which are 2 celebrities that many people would say show a lot of narcissistic traits. So Madonna's life path number is a number 11, and we definitely see that double 1 energy within her, with her being so ambitious and driven and always wanting the spotlight to be on her. And then Paris Hilton's life path number is also an 11, and we see these traits within her as well. And she's also got a soul's urge number 1. And she's also got a birthday number 8. So she's got 3 of these narcissistic numbers in her chart. So let me know in the comments below what you think about all of this. Do you know somebody who might be a narcissist who has all of the signs and symptoms and also has some of these numbers as well? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to check out my services, I will leave the information to that below. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. And I would love to have you subscribe and to follow me on Instagram and Facebook. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video today. I am sending you light and love. Take care.